Welcome back to Square Off. For many voters, Arizona's election results are baffling. I'll paraphrase one tweet. Donald Trump won, Kari Lake is losing, we legalized abortion. I'll add to that, Republicans are winning new seats in the legislature. And a border crackdown got the go-ahead. So what is going on? Joining us now, two longtime political players, Democratic consultant Stacey Pearson, co-founder of Lumen Strategies, and Kirk Adams, former chief of staff to Republican Governor Doug Ducey, now at Concilium Consulting. Welcome to you both. Several races still undecided. The one we're watching closest is the Ruben Gallego Kari Lake Senate race. Ruben Gallego is in the lead. Yes or no, is this race over?
It's over. He holds on.
It's over.
It's over. How did Ruben Gallego pull this off?
Well, I think the question is, how did Kari Lake not pull this off during a red wave? And she had a tinfoil hat on for the last 2 years, trying to still be governor.
Yeah. Kari Lake has proven to be a singularly bad candidate. Two statewide elections in a row that were very winnable for a Republican nominee, and she has found a way to lose both of them.
And I'll point to one data point here. Maricopa County, largest county in the state, most of the votes. Donald Trump is winning it by 75,000 votes. Kari Lake is losing it by 75,000 votes, a place where she spent most of her career.
Arizona voters are pretty good at discerning candidate quality, and they went to the polls. They voted for Donald Trump. They voted for Ruben Gallego. They voted for abortion. They voted for immigration. They voted for expanded Republican majorities. They voted for Republicans at the county level. They made their choices.
But overall, it's a red wave, despite those apparently conflicting signals. Overall, a red wave. Did you see that coming?
No, I don't think any of us saw it. We all thought this election would be close. I think what I didn't see coming was a complete reorganization of the parties. The Republican Party can now lay claim to being a working class party, and I think you'll see in the weeks ahead will lay claim to being a multiracial working class party, and they will begin to describe the Democrat Party as the party of coastal elites and the wealthy.
Are the Democrats just gobsmacked by this?
They shouldn't be. We had 100,000 canaries in the coal mine, and those are voters that don't exist anymore in Arizona as registered Democrats, and that's even with population growth. And when a handful of us were raising it, we were admonished for being negative going into this cycle. We have to find out what we said and did to make those people intentionally leave the Democratic Party and fix it.
What's so striking, you and I have talked about this, Democrats started this election with a disadvantage of 290,000 registered voters to Republicans. And it wasn't that Republicans have been registering so many people. They really haven't. All those voters went left. They went independent.
That's right. But there's something else that's happened in this cycle that I think is not going away. And that's for the first time you have Republican-aligned groups like Citizens for Free Enterprise, Elon Musk's America PAC, even Turning Point have invested millions of dollars into finding low-propensity Republican voters and getting them out to vote. And those organizations are going nowhere, and they're going to have no less funding than they did this time around.
Something Democrats did not do.
We used to.
A bigger question, what does this election say about us? And in particular, Donald Trump tried to overturn the 2020 election. He's been indicted on charges, criminal convictions. A judge found he raped a woman, and we could go on and on. What does it say about us as voters, an electorate, as that this is now okay?
It's the Whiffen principle. What's in it for me? Voters care about how much groceries and gas cost. Do their kids have access to a good school? Those are the types of things that they care about most. It's simply pocketbook issues. When Bill Clinton ran for the presidency, the tagline was, "It's the economy, stupid." What they mean by that is it's pocketbook issues kitchen table issues for everybody. And I think to some extent the Democrat Party got away from that in this cycle.
Well, and we also spent so much time explaining to the electorate that things weren't as bad as they thought they were.
Right.
And crime's not an issue. Violent crime is down. Well, I counted the number of people, homeless people, on my way to the studio this morning. Lost count. So we have to stop telling them that what they're seeing isn't happening.
I agree. And I think there are some some indicators that you could see sort of some of this coming our way. The Biden border debacle. People don't view border security as an immigration issue. They view it as a public safety issue. And this is really the big whiff, in my opinion, of the Biden administration and the Harris campaign, particularly in a swing state like Arizona, where border security crosses all party lines. It's not a Republican issue. It's not a MAGA issue. It's a Republican, Democrat, independent issue.
Didn't that really start on day one of the Biden presidency and during the campaign? It was obvious from the beginning. Just like John McCain was never really into talking about the economy, Joe Biden's not really into the border.
No.
That seemed obvious from day one.
And the lack of attention paid there and the continuous messaging that this is not a problem, it's not as bad, it was worse under the second year of Trump, or however we were framing these issues just didn't stick.
It was such a missed opportunity. They had a Democrat United States Senator from a swing state in Arizona, Senator Kyrsten Sinema, who understood this issue, understood how Arizonans and by proxy the rest of the country would view this issue. And instead of taking her lead, they ran her out of the party.
Right.
Okay. We have to talk about Donald Trump's plans. Here's who Arizonans voted for, somebody who wants to engage in mass deportations. Has talked about putting a tariff on all goods from Mexico, our largest trading partner. And perhaps rewrite the CHIPS Act, which did not connect with voters, but still is responsible for a lot of economic development and jobs here. Is he going to follow through on some, all, any of that? And what's the impact?
Here's the hard part. After you win a campaign, you have to govern. And instituting these programs that he campaigned on are going to be very difficult in practice, but will also produce a lot of political liability. Threading that needle is going to be interesting. He did campaign on those issues. Obviously, as in Arizona, we have great concern about his comments around the CHIPS Act. There's a lot of people on the Republican side and the business community that are hanging their hat on the fact that he's not going to do what he said he'd do. But we'll see. And because you're right, Bram, the needle that they're going to have to thread on these issues has a lot of political liability for the Trump presidency and the Republican Party.
Immigration's his number one issue. It seems mass deportations are likely.
The Republicans are the dogs that caught the car. With that control of the United States House, Senate, White House, and Supreme Court, they're going to have to solve this problem without alienating the very base that just turned their way.
And last word quickly, Governor Katie Hobbs. Is this really serious? How does this damage her governorship?
Oh, I don't think so. She certainly has her work cut out for her in terms of getting a budget passed and getting legislation passed. She's certainly been liberal with the veto stamp, so I think she'll be just fine.
Yeah, I would say that Republicans should have a bit of humility. Defeating an incumbent Republican governor is extremely difficult to do. However, they are emboldened, and they should feel emboldened after these results.
Got into there. Stacey Pearson, Kirk Adams, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.